Hello, it is Dr. Chris Raquel, and I am back again with a video for today. I hope you all are doing amazingly. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in the content that I do, you can also send me an email, askkrystalracquel@gmail.com, if you have any questions or concerns that you'd love to see me answer on a YouTube video. So I do have a video that came to mind this morning. It is in regards to our standards. So everyone's standards can be a little bit different, and sometimes that's okay. So it's really important not to compare your standards to someone else, and be mindful of the type of advice that you accept from people as well, because sometimes the advice that you're getting is based on someone else's standards. So let's say you have a standard for yourself that you are going to make sure that you end up with someone who can provide, right? So provision can mean a lot of different things. Provision can mean that if you're a lady, the man takes most of the bills. It could mean the man takes all of the household bills. It can mean he takes all the household bills, his bills, and all of your bills. It can mean a lot of different things. Or it can even mean that he takes specific bills, the larger bills, right? So if you're speaking to someone who has set different standards for themselves, and those standards that they have are lower than yours, not saying that there's anything really wrong with it, but let's say that their standard is they went to school, they studied for something specific, they studied because they really always wanted to be a physician, and they would like to meet someone who is in a similar career. Or let's say they're an actress, they want to meet somebody who is also an actor. They want to have a similar lifestyle to someone else. And let's say if they're that physician that I just mentioned, they want another physician, and they want them both to be able to build their lives together. They both will be working full time, or maybe they're both surgeons, whatever it is. They have enough finances to be able to put their kids in school, in daycare, and those type of things, and they don't mind those things. Or maybe they even have one of their mothers living with them, or coming over to do childcare, or they take the kids over to the parents for caring for them during the day, and they're okay with that. If that is their standard, if that is what the lady wants for her life, it's all right. Like, it's nothing for you to compare what you want to her. But just be careful if you're taking advice from someone like that, who they love their job, they want to be a surgeon, or they are a surgeon, they're a physician, and they don't want to stop that. They don't want to stop their career for their children. They want to have children. They want to show their children that this is the lifestyle that we're building for you. Mommy and daddy are doing this together. We're putting our careers together. If that is what they want to do with their life, if that is what that young lady wants to do, don't go to that person for advice for what you want to do if you know that your standard is completely different. If you know that your standard for your life is, I did go to school, but my vision for my life is to be a stay-at-home mother. And it's because I want to be a stay-at-home mother, I understand that maybe the career that I have or that I've had wouldn't be really much, or wouldn't be sufficient in terms of what you went to school for. So I'm looking for somebody who I know is going to, one, has a certain education where they're always going to be able to provide, or they have a business where they're always going to be able to provide. So that's what I want for myself. Okay, so you see how those are two different things? Someone who wants that for their life, who was saying, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, you can't really go to advice for somebody who has a different vision for their life. Their standards are completely different. I think a lot of times people are getting confused. They are looking at other people's lives. They're looking at other people who they don't have a lot in common, right? In terms of what you're looking for in a mate, or how you envision your life. Go to people who are in the position that you want to be, or go to people who have a lot of experience in what you would like your life to be. So, like, I know if I am not somebody who wants to I don't want to say struggle love. If I'm somebody who doesn't want to go 50-50 for the rest of my life or while I have children for the entire time, if I'm someone that wouldn't want that for myself, I'm not going to go to someone who has no problem doing that. I'm not going to go and say, hey friend, I know you are, you have 3 kids and you're a working mother, your husband also works, and your children are in daycare. What do you think about this plan for my life? This plan where I would like to be a stay-at-home mom and have my husband provide, and I'll care for the children, and maybe I might do a little business on the side here and there. Like, what's your thought about that? And reason why I really want you to be mindful about those things is people's standards are different, but also if someone is in a position, like I just mentioned, not saying struggle love, but they're both working hard 50-50, maybe that mom would have liked to stay home, but she can't. So she has to work, her husband has to work, and then they have to do childcare. You telling her your vision for your life, knowing that she is not in that position and she wanted that. Once again, I'm talking about a situation where the lady would have wanted to be in that situation. That is not someone you're going to take advice from, because she may give you bad advice. She may say, well, you're young. I work. I'm doing all right. When okay, a lot of us know that no one can do everything, right? So I've spoken about this on my channel before. Like, it will be very difficult for a woman to work full time, do all the laundry, do all the cooking, do all the cleaning, bathe the children, feed them, and all those things. There's more I know I'm missing, but all those things, right? A lady's doing all that, and then let's say she has a man, and we'll say it's her husband, and he's doing work. That's pretty much it, right? He comes home, he rests. That's usually how it goes. That is going to take a toll on a lady. And I know ladies will say, like, well, single moms do it. Exactly. Single moms, they do what they have to do. They do it because there's no other option. That is not their ideal. They will, most of the time, not all, a lot of them, I would say most of them, if they had the opportunity to have somebody help them, and let's say it's their husband who was going to do his fair share of everything, obviously that they would want to be in that position. So back to the situation I'm talking about, you're not going to want to go to somebody for advice who, let's say they're in that situation where it's 50-50. Now I'm saying 50-50. I've been saying that, but 50-50, when I'm talking about 50-50, I am talking about what I just described, that scenario where the man comes, he works, he comes home and he's resting. The lady, she works, she's doing everything else, right? So that's our 50-50, what we talk about in this society. But I've spoken about it before. This is also similar to what I just described about maybe 2 physicians. If, let's say, there are 2 people who are working, they have the means to do childcare, and I'll add other things too. They might have a cook. They might have somebody who does their cleaning. Or let's say they don't. Let's say they split all those things amongst themselves. Okay, that 50-50, that is somebody's choice. That's not saying anything's wrong with it. That's somebody who has decided that they're not going to subscribe to gender roles, gender norms. But my point is, please do not go to somebody else when you know their standards do not align with yours. Let's say you have an idea for what it is to be a man and a woman. You think that a man has this role, a woman is more nurturing, caring. She can be industrious and she can be ambitious as well, but the man is the provider and he's the leader and all those things, and he's the protector. If you have those type of standards, that's what you believe, and you believe that provision includes monetarily, which it 100% does, then you're not going to go to somebody who, maybe agrees with that, but they're in a different situation, because they may advise you poorly. They may tell you, well, go ahead and just do this. All of us have to do it. I know it's hard, but that's just the way it is. No. And there could be standards for other things as well. So I know I said everyone's standards is different, and it doesn't make a difference, but sometimes it does. So even in a situation where you're a Christian and you are following Christian values and you've decided that you are going to abstain from sexual activity, if you are going to someone else for advice or telling them what you're doing and you know that they're not doing those things like you, they're going to advise you incorrectly. If they know that they have a boyfriend and they are living together or whatever it may be, and you tell them your goal of abstaining, they're going to tell you, well, you know, men ain't going to wait for that. My guy wouldn't wait for me. They're going to advise you poorly. You're going to allow that stuff to get into your spirit. So really just stop going to people who you know your standards do not align. And I know I mentioned in that scenario where that young lady, maybe her standard was like yours, where she would love to have, so she wants to be a stay-at-home mom or whatever it may be. And she would love to be in that situation, but honestly, her standards are not the same as your own, because if those were her standards, she likely would not be in that situation, you know? And just in general, when it comes to relationship standards and so many other things, if you know your belief system is a little bit different than somebody else, you want to just be really careful about the advice that you receive. You want to be really mindful, because sometimes that person, like I said, could be advising you incorrectly. Let me know what you think down below, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.